Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam. This is sixth canto. We're going to read all the way to text 28. This pretty much is describing the battle between the demigods and Visheshura's army. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O king, when all the Asuras came into the battlefield headed by Visheshura, they saw King Indra carrying the thunderbolt and surrounded by the Rudras, Vasus, Adityas, Ashvini Kumaras, Pitas, Vashnis, Marus, Ribus, Satyas, Vishvasdevas. Surrounded by his company, Indra shone so brightly that his effulgence was intolerable to the demons. Many hundreds and thousands of demons, demidemons, yakshas, rakshasas, man-eaters, wow, and others headed by Sumali and Mali, resisted the armies of King Indra, which even death personified cannot easily overcome. Among the demons were Namuchi, Sambada, Anarava, Dimudra, Rishaba, Ashura, Hayagriva, Shankurshira, Vidipachiti, Ajomuka, Puloma, Vishapadava, Praheti, Haiti, Utkala, roaring tremendously and fearlessly like lions. These invincible demons, all dressed in golden ornaments, gave pain to the demigods with weapons like clubs, bludgeons, arrows, barbed darts, mallets, and lances. Armed with lances, tridents, axes, swords, and other weapons like shatagnis, bushudis, the demons attacked from different directions and scattered all the chiefs of the demigods' army. As the stars in the sky cannot be seen when covered by dense clouds, the demigods, being completely covered by networks of arrows falling upon them one after another, could not be seen. The showers of various weapons and arrows released to kill the soldiers of the demigods did not reach them because the demigods, acting quickly, cut their weapons into thousands of pieces in the sky. As their weapons and mantras decreased, the demons began showering mountain peaks, trees, stones upon the demigods' soldiers. But the demigods were so powerful and expert that they nullified all these weapons by striking them to pieces in the sky as before. When the soldiers of the demons commanded by Visheshura saw that the soldiers of King Indra were quite well, having not been injured at all by the volleys of weapons, not even by the trees, stones, and mountain peaks, the demons were very much afraid. Savre prajasa abhavan vimukha krita krita deva ganeshu jai Krishna nukaleshu jata mahatsu Shudra paryukta ashiti raksha vachaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. When insignificant persons use rough words to cast false, angry accusations against saintly persons, their fruitless words do not disturb the great personalities. Similarly, all the efforts of the demons against the demigods were favorably situated under the protection of Krishna, were futile. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There is a Bengali saying that if a vulture curses a cow to die, the curse will not be effective. Similarly, accusations made by demoniac persons against devotees of Krishna cannot have any effect. The demigods are devotees of Krishna, and therefore the curses of the demons were futile. Fight. This is the fight between the demons and the demigods. That's an eternal rasa between the two. Prabhupada says that throughout the universe, there are only two types of human beings. The Asuras and the Suryas. And in the Rig Veda, it is stated that the Suras, the demigods, the devotees of the Lord, always aim at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and act accordingly. So we're seeing in this verse, the demigods and the demons are in layman's terms, they are throwing down. Fight and keep on fighting. And Prabhupada used there's the, yeah, this is the one I wanted to share this. He says that you praise it by praising the spiritual, what is called real glorification. And he says, you could utilize your Guru Maharaj, but you have to learn and face the public and be strong to defend yourself. That is success. Then he says that not by praising your Guru Maharaj, you'll praise your Guru Maharaj. That's not a very difficult thing to do. But be victorious to the opposing elements, then you will praise him by your fight against the opposing elements. He said, at home you can praise the spiritual master, Guru Maharaj, and of course you'll be satisfied. Because that's respectful, and that's good. He says, but the qualification is that you have to fight. Then your Guru Maharaj will be glorified. And that's what these Prabhus, Madhu Pandit Prabhu and Chhatrapati and the whole group, they could have easily took the road and not fight. But they fought. Let me speak into the mic. Okay. We have to fight and we have to defeat the opposing elements with our words. By doing this, then we please Srila Prabhupada. And that's what the devotees here have done. And Prabhupada is very pleased behind that. He's so pleased. He gave a story about when we first joined. Actually, it was just turned 15. And so Balaka is one of our, actually Balaka was an emissary of Prabhupada. He was a is what I describe as a real Vartma Pradakshaka guru, because he came to our neighborhood and he presented Prabhupada's teachings so nicely to us. There was a whole group in my neighborhood in Washington, D.C., called Riggs Park. And what happened in our neighborhood is unprecedented because of all 50 states in the United States. The amount of Prabhupada's disciples coming from one neighborhood, Black Americans, was not matched nowhere else in the whole 50 states of the United States. It was unheard of. Just think about it, 1972, he came to our neighborhood and we had 3 carloads of black kids going to a Sunday feast. That's unheard of. That didn't happen. They didn't preach in our neighborhoods. That didn't happen. But Balaka did that and took us, and when we went to the temple, they actually thought we was coming over to take over. They thought a coup was in place because that was unheard of. But the point I'm making is by the Prabhupada's blessings and the mercy that he's displayed to us, and he was able to penetrate. Because when we read the Bhagavad Gita, see, I grew up during what's called the civil rights era in America. You know, are you familiar with the civil rights era, Martin Luther King? Are you familiar? Historically? That's the question. Well, Martin Luther King was a big follower of Gandhi. So he used those same principles during the 1960s civil rights march and the principles in America, because that's what was going on. And so when I was a kid, they had a huge march called the March on Washington. And my parents went there, and I went, and I remember the crowds and crowds and crowds of people doing that march. So when Balaka came to our neighborhood and presented us with Prabhupada's books, and we read the Bhagavad Gita, I was blown away. Because nobody put it spiritually, bodily conception. I have a black body. I'm not black. I said, I understood that, I'm not black. I got a black body. No one presented the truth like this before. Because as soon as we take birth, we're all identifying, okay, I'm black, I'm from here, I'm from this country, I'm from this neighborhood. In fact, the animal propensities is so prominent in society. So the bodily conception is really deep. It's deep-rooted in society. So when I understood that I'm not this body, but I understood also that not everybody's going to be able to understand this information like that. But the truth shined. And so all of us was able to accept this fact. And see the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada said, that's why he said as it is. Because there's 2 systems in this world. Either you go bottom up or top down. And 99% of the world is bottom up. What you think? Your opinion. what you believe in, what you see. But we follow the top-down system as is. We don't have to speculate. The information is given clearly for you to see. We follow the information that's given by the acharyas, and which made it easier for us. See, because when it comes to philosophy and debating, there's no end to it. Somebody come and give their thesis, then someone else come and give their thesis, and then someone come and give their 2 cents, and then somebody come and give their opinion. There's no end. It just comes down to who you accept as the authority. Who's the authority? Who you accept as the authority. Just like here in India, we have to drive on the left side. In America, we drive on the right. I can't come here and say, well, I want to drive on the left. Because I want to drive on the right because we drive on the right in the U.S. Let me try it and see what happens. Huh? Because the authorities said, no, we're going to drive on the left. Just like the authorities, they could have made the lights, they could have made it green means stop. But they said, no, we're going to use red. Red means stop. Green means go. It's who you accept as the authority. And so when the Bhagavad Gita is presented, it was so profound. I was like, look at this. There's a param from Evam Param Param Praptam Mam Rasho Yovidu. Such a class of personalities, one after another, after another, after another, all back up to the Lord himself. Unbroken chain, and each individual mimics the same qualities of the previous. I mean, you can't make this up. It's not made up information. And that's how the Acharya is giving us. And then now I'm traveling all over this great land and witnessing how fortunate these people are here in Bharat Bhumi. And you, under Srila Prabhupada's umbrella, how fortunate you are. But y'all put in the work from previous lives. You put in the work. So Prabhupada says here, he says, you cannot argue with your limited senses. Srila Jiva Goswami has said, unless we accept achintya in the Supreme, the conception of God, then there cannot be no accommodation. So the truth is as is. There's no symbolism when it comes to the information given by the acharyas. We have to accept. And if you accept, then everything comes and you're able to understand on the perfect platform. But people argue, they may argue, but this is superior, this is inferior. But we only accept what the Lord says. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita it's given so many verses. In the last instruction was, Sarvadhamma Parijaya Mami Kam Saranamraja. You just surrender unto me and I'll protect you. But they don't want to accept what Krishna says. That's why they said the scriptures are written for devotees of the Lord. They're written for those people who are devoted to the Lord's words. And because they are there on that platform, then they are able to understand it. So they invite between the demons and the demigods are eternal. Just like when the Mahabharata, the fight between the family, the Kurus and the Pandavas, and all those powerful personalities that was in that battlefield. I mean, Karna. It's all Krishna's arrangement. I mean, actually, Karna, he had he's like one of the favorite characters in the Mahabharata because of his qualities. He had the disposition like Yudhisthira. He was very powerful, strong, just like Bhima. He was very handsome, like Nakula, Sahadev. And everybody knows that his prowess in archery, like Arjuna. But because his destiny was set for him to be the king. Even though Krishna personally asked him to come on over to the side of the Pandavas and they will support you, which they would have done. But he couldn't do it because of his loyalty to Duryodhana. So destiny always will take its course, regardless of what happens. What's that verse? Tasyaiva to prayateta kovido. Those who are intelligent and philosophically inclined. He said, Tau labhyate dukhavada anyata sukham. Kalena sarvacha kambira rahasya. We all have what's called zeros. I've said this so many times. Everybody's given so many zeros in their life. Some may have 100, some 1,000, some may have 200, some may have 100,000, some may have 1. Because we've all performed our activities according to our karmatic background. And once you get this body, all the activities that's connected to it is coming. So they're like zeros. And trust me, it has nothing to do with skills, know-how, or any of those things. If it's destined to happen, it will manifest. Whatever you are trying to or endeavoring to achieve, as far as, occupation or work or any of those type of activities. If it's destined to go down, it's going to manifest. But if it's not, it's not going to happen. It took me a long time to come to understand that truth. Destiny will take its course because this body has already been created. Just like when you go to the pharmacy to get the latest medicine to counteract the latest disease. You didn't ask to get sick. Nobody asked to get sick. Anybody asked to get sick? Any hands? No. Nobody going to raise their hand. No one. Because you didn't ask for that. So in the same way, happiness comes the same way. It comes the same way. Point making is, if it's destined to go down, it will. But if it's not, you can put all your efforts. If it's not destined, then it won't happen. So what's the point? The point, concentrate on the one. Put the one in front of those zeros. You put the one in front of those zeros, then everything else will follow suit. And the Lord is in our heart. He is Chaitya Guru. And he knows what's going on in our lives. Just like when I came to India for this book project. I did not plan this. There was no plan. I didn't sit down and say, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to have them find a publisher. None of that happened. And I'm not making it up. I'm just telling the truth. That's how it is. But when you surrender to the Lord's plan for you, then he'll make a way. And that's how it works. And he'll give you more than enough evidence to let you see. But he'll never force you. Why is that? Anybody can answer that question? Why? Why he will never force? Well, he does love you, but we're talking about you. Why he won't force you? Free will. That's right. Love factor. Love is voluntary. It's voluntary. You ever seen a mother who has a child and she's forced to take care of him and love him because she's forced to do it? That never happens. It's because her love factor is there. The Lord wants to love. That's what he wants. That's the whole point in our system, Krishna consciousness. What's that word? Smatava Satatam Vishnu. Mismatayo natatuchit. Sarve vidhe nasitayo itiyo eva kinkara. Always remember Krishna and never forget him. That's what the Lord wants. He wants you always to remember him. Surrender everything to him. Krishna is a person. He's a person just like you and me, all of us. But he's just the supreme person. So we have all the qualities that we have. Everything, I don't feel like doing something today. I want to do something today. He can say the same thing, supreme. I don't feel like doing something today. He has that quality on the highest level. He's in Vrindavan, where everything else is taking place under his direction. But Krishna wants our love. And Prabhupada is teaching us how to do that. And if all the acharyas of persons who've given us knowledge about how to love the Lord, there's no other there's no other religious system on the planet that gives so much literature how one can develop their love for the Lord. That what the ISKCON Swamis have given us, what Bhaktivedanta, all these volumes and volumes of literature, just teaching how one can love the Lord, how you can regain your love for the Lord. This is a highest level of knowledge that the Lord has given us, and we are very fortunate to be able to take advantage of this. So I'm very honored traveling all over this great land and distributing Prabhupada's knowledge to the great souls in this great land of Bharat Bhumi. But it's shameful that they have no idea how fortunate they are. Just think about it. Out of 8,400,000 different species, right? 8,400,000 species. And then you get 400,000. And then you get this human form of life. And then you've put in the work because you've realized that you want to get out of this samsara, birth and death. You want to free yourself from that. So you put all those activities in to achieve this particular vehicle. Then you get it, and then you squander it. This is what they're doing. They're squandering it. And there's no guarantee that you'll get another human form. And then Prabhupada said you have to go all back again through this vicious cycle. So it's very important we realize how fortunate we are. We take advantage of all this information that's given to us by the acharyas and make sure that we do not take another birth. Because you all have, your families are all dependent on you, because by you becoming 10% pure, then you are 10 generations before, 10 generations after, because also become benefited. Say you have all that weight on your shoulders. But it can be done, and you can do it. So we have to fight with our knowledge, with the information that the Acharya has given us, what Prabhupada has given us, and continue going out there and helping these fortunate souls, because the quality of the Vaishnava is they have compassion. They have compassion for the fallen souls. We want to help them because they're in complete illusion. They're all caught up in with the 4 fours. You know, I call them the 4 fours. The 4 fours, the first 4 is, what is that? The 4, what is the 4 position, the 4 defects of a conditioned soul? That's one of the 4 fours. Okay, that's one. That's 2. Yep. Okay, that's one of the 4 fours. Second one, second 4. Animal propensities. 4 animal propensities. That's the second 4. What are animal propensities? That's right. So that's 2. Okay. The third 4 of the 4 fours. Birth, death, old age, and disease. That's right. And the last one everybody knows, especially the recently new formally initiates. Everyone knows this one. Yeah. I call those the 4 fours. The 4 fours we have to know. The 4 fours. These 4 fours, easily you could teach those to the kids, the children, new bhaktas, and everybody, and then they start their spiritual foundation. Because when you know these 4 fours, then you know you're in a realm of purity, and you're starting your emancipation, and everybody's doing that, and that's a great beginning. See, Prabhupada said the Bhagavad Gita is the ABCs spiritual knowledge. And of course, the Srimad Bhagavatam is what? It's a graduate study. And what's the postgraduate? Yes, sir. So we have volumes and volumes of information from the acharyas to help us. Now I'm going to tell you a story, a Prabhupada story. You want to hear a Prabhupada story? Yeah. Okay, this was just before. Okay, this one year, Sattvic, you remember Bhaktivedanta Swami? His name was Prabhu Sarup. Remember him? Yeah, Haridaspur, that's right, yeah. He was a great friend. And he was in charge of Haridaspur. He was the Sevite for Haridaspur. And so he wanted to donate Haridaspur to Prabhupada. So they arranged a group of devotees to go to Haridaspur because Prabhupada wanted to go there and do the cornerstone laying ceremony for the temple because he was building a temple there. So it was a very small amount of devotees who went. Japataka was a Tamal, and a few brahmacharis, and I was one of them. Sattvic didn't go. He couldn't go. I told him, don't let him come. That's not true. So when we got to the Haridaspur, that's right there on the border, Bangladesh and West Bengal, East Bengal, West Bengal. It's right there on the border. So there was a nice, it was a kirtan. Prabhupada was overseeing the yajna. So the kirtan started, and I think it was Panchavidya Swami. It was Panchavidya. So he was leading the kirtan. So when he got to chanting the Maha Mantra, he said, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Mo. Prabhupada said, you don't sing. He said, stop, you don't sing. And I was right in front of him, playing the mridanga. And everybody knew why Prabhupada stopped him from singing. Because during that time, we all knew, first of all, these acharyas gave us more than enough mantras to chant and to sing. We don't have to make up mantras, even in kirtan. We don't have to make up mantras, and don't pronounce the mantras incorrectly. And we do not chant Hare Ramo. I don't know where they come up with these, but Prabhupada specifically, and if you listen to any of his bhajans or kirtans, you never hear him say Ramo or wrong pronunciation. So that was a real lesson for me. Of course, I never did that during that time anyway, but still that incident remained in my mind for even to the day. I'll never forget that. You know, he stopped him from chanting that. And I make a point to always teach the youngsters of this point. Don't make mantras up. Don't chant them incorrectly. Melodies is unlimited. There's no limit for melodies. But just the mantras, chanting them correctly and making up mantras. We can't do that. You know, the Acharyas giving us, it's like they're like doctors. And they're giving us prescriptions. And we have to take the prescription according to how they give it to us. We can't take it the way we want because we're not going to get the result if we speculate and say, oh, well, I'm going to do it this way. No. See, Prabhupada said that our system is done for us. It's already done. All we have to do is just accept and follow. You don't have to speculate on anything. There's no need to speculate. But because we have this mindset that we have from our previous lives and things that we've coming up from previously. We always wanted to bring in the 2 cent or the 3 cent or the 4 cent or even the 5 cent and mess up the whole program. And that's what's been going on. And it's always like that because of the 4 defects. But if we get rid of that and just remain in the perimeters, what's it called? Lakshman what? Rekha, yeah. He had that perimeters that was set up and told Sita, don't go outside it. You'll be protected if you stay within it. But she stepped outside it. So Prabhupada set up perimeters for us. Nice perimeters for everything, for a whole life. His life is an example of how to do it. His whole life is an example of how to do it. You don't have to speculate on anything. Just follow and have your shraddha, faith. See, that's the point. That's really what's going on, I'm saying. There's no faith in the words Prabhupada's given and the information that's given to us. No, not enough faith. And the faith of all people will be tested. All the time they will be tested. Because he knows everything that's going on in your lives. Just have the faith in it. Prabhupada protects you. Prabhupada always protected me. So anyway, I think this is our last day. Satvik, is it? Yeah. This is the last day. This is our last day here. Well, of course, we'll always be coming back because this is a second home for me. But I appreciate the devotees. They're so kind here. They're so genuine and kind and sincere. And you know, from my little 2 cents, from what I've learned from Prabhupada, I see it all throughout here. And it's an honor. And I'm saying all you have to do is just stay the course. That's all you have to do. Just stay the course in your life, and Prabhupada will protect you. Just like he's protecting me, Satvik, and all my God brothers friends. I don't know how big to differ. So anyway, I appreciate you. And any questions before?
Talking about Rampa. John also was singing that.
Yeah, yes, right, yeah.
How was up him?
So you're ruining this
He
movement.
said, you're destroying my movement.
Right, yeah.
Just see how particular Srila Prabhupada was. He was chanting Ramo. Prabhupada says, stop it. You are destroying my movement. So we must be very faithful to what we sing. That's why Prabhupada gave us melodies. We cannot make up, especially in front of the deities. Mangal Artik, there is a melody. Evening Artik, there is another melody. And chanting the Hare Krishna mantra with the melody that's given us. That just like Srila Prabhupada, how he chanted. When you hear that prayer, Vandeham, what power is there? What power? Prabhupada changed the whole world with those simple kartals, mridangas, expert mridanga player, harmonium. Nobody can play like Prabhupada. So we have to remain faithful when we chant the holy name. If we deviate, then there will be no potency.
Anybody else? Question? Comment? Actually, this one devotee I got, brother, y'all very familiar with Indra. Remember, heard of Indra? Are you familiar with Indra? Okay, we joined the same time too in Washington. Indra's also from our city in Washington. I spoke to him as well. I said, Indra, you ruined the movement with the Ramos. I told him that. Yeah. I told him, stop chanting the Ramo because they look up to you. And if you stop doing that, they will also stop. But he didn't stop. But he was my great friend. So I'm learning that you can't make stuff up. It's not going to work. If we just follow and just let the process work like that, just see yourself as a patient, and Prabhupada is the doctor, and he's giving you a prescription, and your body is just the vehicle that you have. If you see it like that, then it'll be much easier. No more question, comment? I can see it's 9:30. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.